Right now, as you're sitting there, imagine something simple. Imagine you stub your toe on the edge of the couch. No pain. Not even half a second of the pain you're used to. You just keep walking like nothing happened. Nice, right? A permanent vacation from every ache that bothers you every day. But the real answer is far stranger than that. Because there are people who actually live this way, and their life isn't easy the way you'd imagine. Their life is in constant danger. Pain isn't the enemy. Pain is a message that reaches you from your body almost at the speed of light, telling you, stop what you're doing right now. Without that message, your body loses its most important warning system. And there are people who were born without that alarm bell at all. Let's understand what actually happens when pain disappears. Pain isn't one simple sensation the way we tend to think. It's a complex system that starts with fine nerve endings in your skin called nociceptors. These receptors sense anything that could hurt you: extreme heat, intense pressure, a wound, even a chemical acid. The moment they sense danger, they fire an electrical signal through your nerves, traveling at incredible speed until it reaches the spinal cord, then the brain. There, in a small region called the thalamus, the brain makes a decision in a fraction of a second. Does it stop you? Make you pull your hand back? Make you scream? All of this happens before you're even consciously aware you felt anything. Remember when you were a small child and touched something hot? You pulled your hand back before you even thought about it. That's not a conscious decision on your part. That's your body protecting you from yourself. Now imagine that step being erased from your life entirely. In 2006, a research team from the University of Cambridge, led by researcher Geoffrey Woods, studied a Pakistani family with a child who made a living walking on burning coals and cutting himself with knives in street performances without feeling anything at all. That child died before his 14th birthday after jumping off a rooftop, with no fear or pain to stop him. The team studied his family's genes and found a mutation in a gene called SCN9A. That gene is responsible for building a sodium channel in the nerves called Nav1.7, which carries the pain signal from the body to the brain. If that channel is disabled, the signal simply never arrives. No message, so no pain, and no warning. This condition became known as congenital insensitivity to pain, or CIP. It's extremely rare, but it gives us a clear picture of just how essential pain is to our survival. Children born with it can bite through their tongue while teething without anyone noticing. They can break a bone and keep playing normally until the bone heals wrong or an infection spreads. They can rest a hand on fire without pulling it back because nothing tells them to. The danger isn't that they get injured more than others. The danger is that they don't know an injury happened at all. Around the same time, another researcher, John Wood, at University College London, was studying the same nerve channel from a different angle. He and his team were trying to understand how this knowledge could be used scientifically, not to eliminate pain, but to control it when it becomes excessive, as in cases of chronic pain that torment millions of people every day. In other words, the same channel that, when disabled, leads to early death, could, if properly understood, help other people escape years of suffering. This is where the historical and evolutionary deep dive comes in. Pain is not a modern invention. It's one of the oldest systems to appear in the history of life on Earth. Even very simple organisms, like worms and insects, have a primitive form of response to danger. Why? Because any living creature that doesn't sense danger doesn't survive long enough to reproduce. Pain isn't punishment. Pain is a survival tool. Our earliest ancestors, who felt intense heat, moved away from fire. Those who felt the pain of hunger went looking for food. Those who felt the pain of a wound rested until it healed. None of them was thinking about evolution while pulling a hand off a hot stone. But every small decision like that determined who lived to continue the chain and who didn't. And here's the reversal. We're used to thinking pain is the problem and total comfort is the solution. But science tells us the exact opposite. It's not pain that threatens us. What threatens us is the absence of pain at the moment we need it most. And this truth isn't limited to the body. Think of anything difficult you've done in your life. Studying before an exam, an exhausting workout, a hard conversation you were afraid of. Each one of them came with some form of pain, not necessarily physical, but psychological or emotional. A feeling of discomfort. And that's exactly the alarm bell telling you, something important is happening here. Pay attention. If you erased that feeling from your life completely, you'd lose your ability to distinguish what matters from what doesn't. There are many studies in psychology that illustrate this idea. Researcher Kelly McGonigal at Stanford University studied how people deal with stress and discomfort, and found that people who view discomfort as a sign of growth rather than a threat can endure more and achieve better outcomes in the long run. In other words, the very same mechanism that protects your body from fire is the same one that can help you grow psychologically if you understand it correctly. Modern society keeps selling us the idea that any feeling of discomfort should be eliminated immediately. Want comforting food? Order it with one tap. Want to escape a difficult conversation? Close the screen. Want to avoid effort? There's a ready-made solution for everything, but every time you avoid a small discomfort, you weaken your ability to handle a bigger one when it comes, and it will come someday. Think back to children born without the ability to feel pain. Their parents have to watch them every second. Check their bodies every day for wounds they never felt. Teach them to look at their hands and feet before sleeping. Not because they felt something, but to make sure nothing happened without their knowledge. Imagine living your whole life like that, needing to monitor yourself with your own eyes instead of your body monitoring itself automatically. That's double the exhaustion, not comfort, and that's exactly what makes us see pain from a completely different angle. Pain isn't the thing that stops your life. Pain is what lets you keep living without destroying yourself, without realizing it. The ache you feel after running too much, or staying up too late, or sitting in a bad position isn't your enemy. It's your body's voice trying to protect you from yourself, exactly like it protected your ancestors millions of years ago. Which brings us back to a simple but profound question. We spend a lot of time trying to escape any form of discomfort, but that very discomfort is what makes us human beings capable of living, learning, and growing. Not everything that hurts needs to disappear. Some of it needs to be listened to carefully. So next time you feel a small ache, a sore muscle, a hurt in your heart from a hard situation, pain from an embarrassing decision, before you rush to find the quickest way to escape it, ask yourself a simple question. Why did this message come to me? It might be protecting you from something bigger than you realize. So next time you stub your toe on the edge of the couch and feel that pain for a second, don't curse it too quickly. That very pain is the reason you'll live to see tomorrow. Feel it again, remember it, and be more careful.